Hello, wrestling fans and anybody else out there. This is Discuss Impact. I'm JaySin here with the true horror king, Gary, who is always doing his thing over there. What's happening, Gary?
Not too much, Jay. I'd like to say to everybody listening tonight, happy President's Day.
Well, it could be in the morning or in the afternoon, so that's a bit presumptive of you, I think. So we got some news, like an awesome match was just announced in Kenta versus Mike Bailey for the tapings after No Surrender, I believe. Ratings and viewership both up a bit after I pretty much cried about them last week. The viewership went from 81 to 92, so that's nice. Would be nicer over 100. And the demo went from 0.01 to 0.01 to 0.02. So they're back out of 0.01, which I was, complaining about. That's a terrible number.
Well, and a bit of momentum, too, going into these different shows that are upcoming. We sold out the Multiverse show coming up. Vegas tickets are selling very well for No Surrender this weekend.
Yeah,
near good sellout. And then Canada is almost nearly sold out as well in April.
Yeah, so we got some good news this week. And okay, sorry, I want to mention this kind of off the top because it probably looks weird having Ant-Man and MCU in the title. So I'm going to get into Ant-Man a bit at the end of the podcast, like shooting a little, but don't worry about spoilers right now. And give me a minute to tie this to Impact. So I thought it was a bad movie, as did many, considering it's the lowest rated MCU movie ever at this point on Rotten Tomatoes. Sorry if this is a nerd talk, just deal with it for like a minute. Phase 4 wasn't good. They needed a really strong start for Phase 5, and they got the opposite. I'm not a hater. I love everything about the MCU until Endgame, and then Spider-Man was awesome. Obviously, it hurts losing stars like Downey and Evans and Scarlet, but the stories have mostly been shit. Unlike the first 3 phases, there's not one big cool thing happening that fans need to pay attention to or seemingly want to pay attention to. It's kind of all over the place, which leads me to Impact Wrestling, because that's what it's kind of felt like lately. The last big story they had was Honor No More, and since then it's just, I don't know, felt kind of random, like all over the place and like not must watch. Is that too much, Gary?
No, I totally see what you're saying. Like, it's like the product's in neutral right now, and it doesn't really show any, fruitfulness of being overly like big things happening. But with the turn of this New Japan announcement, I mean, maybe this is the punch in the arm we need to get the product flowing again to our liking.
Yeah, I mean, there's always good things going on. Mike Bailey has been incredible. Every goddamn match he has. We're finally getting the Bullet Club, which is great. I mean, I think we've wanted that for like so long. And now we got Ace and Bay looking strong. Kushida was on this week's show and at the tapings. We got Kenta coming. So, yeah, good stuff. I just wish they were coming in a little hotter, like leading into that stuff,
Well, honestly, I don't know why we're not considering like maybe making them the new Aces and Eights Bullet Club, like have them invade matches and make it interesting again. Like,
oh, definitely, yeah.
Do more. Who wins? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, do more. Yeah, do more with them. They're a club, and they're called the Bullet Club. They're supposed to be doing like cool ass shit, and yeah, exactly. That's a good point. They don't do stuff like that, which they definitely should.
I know when Aces and Eights were doing it, it had me hooked. I know a lot of people hated the product at that point, but I think it was about the players at that time. It wasn't the story itself.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's always a big thing. The player, didn't mention, Impact doesn't have a Paul Rudd or Jonathan Majors at the moment to kind of carry things when they're not going that well. Instead, we have like Bully Ray and
well, I don't understand it, Jay, because we have a really hot free agent that's out there that hasn't signed by anybody, Filthy Tom Lawler.
Oh, there's a lot of guys. I mean, we have a mailbag question we're going to get to in a minute about CM Punk. I guess it all comes down to what they want to spend as an anthem. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really, but I'm excited about this New Japan stuff. I think we mentioned, or I did, like, I feel like New Japan, like, maybe has a piece of Impact, or they're looking into that, or I don't know. But I guess, I mean, like, they're doing this big show coming up. When the hell is it? The
30th of March.
Okay, 30th of March. Yeah, that's the Impact versus New Japan show. So, and then No Surrender is this Friday, right? Correct?
Yeah, from Sam's Town Casino in Las Vegas. A place I might add is very much a casino, but the thing is, it has a lot of walk-up crowds, so more than likely it's going to look really good on TV. Much like our center stage looks on TV, except a bigger venue.
Okay, just got to mention one more thing. Got this from our producer, Larry. If you're out there listening, F you, buddy. Josh Alexander has wrestled one time since defeating Bully Ray at Hard to Kill, and it was a tag match, 4-way, 8-way, 4-way.
Yeah,
4 on each side, 8-person tag, whatever. So that's kind of
we had mentioned that it was too much, in one match, like too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We weren't a big fan of that one, but again, the build for the main event for No Surrender has been basically nothing. And to steal from 411, or not to steal, I'm just going to read what he said, because at the end of the show, Swan grabbed a chair and hit Alexander by mistake, and the writer said that's something for them at least, as that match has felt almost forgotten so far, and I had to totally agree with that. That's Hall's Impact Wrestling Review, 411 Mania.
Well, my problem with the build for it isn't just so much the build, it's like you're getting guys that like aren't even going to be at No Surrender in any of these matches, and they're kind of like the filler until we get to this No Surrender, and it's just like it seems like it's like Impact of old would have had like some build with it, with all these shows leading up until the pay-per-view, and it doesn't feel like that this time around. It kind of very random.
Yeah, that was kind of like my whole MCU thing earlier. Also, hey, I'm a big MCU fan, and I kind of wanted to stick it in there somewhere. Sorry, we forgot to mention this episode is in memory of Jerry Jarrett. Gary, that was on you. You're supposed to remember things like that, birthdays, and that kind of.
I did remember it on the thumbnail. So,
if anyone doesn't know, Jerry Jarrett, I believe, created TNA, along with his son, and
yes, he did. Yeah.
And then his dumb son took over and basically bankrupted in like 4 months, and had to have Dixie come in and save him. But
and then got an opportunity again, and then drank it away.
Yeah, and then he came back, and I swear, do fans not remember that he changed the name of TNA to GFW? Because I feel like he deserves so much more shit for that. But
I mean,
whatever.
There's a part of me that kind of liked it to a small degree, only because we got a different looking ring out of the deal. And he keeps the 6 sides still in place, unlike Hogan that said it was a playpen.
I mean, come on, how cool is the TNA title, first of all?
Oh yeah.
Does anything beat that thing?
No, that still holds true today. That it's one of the like.
And I was sorry.
Yeah, just that it's like one of the more prettier looking titles.
Yeah. And I was against changing the 6-sided ring because, I saw every wrestler in the world was like, yeah, man, that thing sucks. We hate wrestling in it. But, that was their thing. You know what I mean? They had a thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm used to AAA. Seeing their aprons having the Corona, the beer, the Corona, the malt liquor beer. I'm so used to seeing the 6-sided ring. I just think it was an attraction, and I don't know. I still miss it. I wouldn't see why they couldn't at least bring it back at some point, at least for one pay-per-view.
I'm surprised I didn't for that TNA show they did.
Oh yeah, did they ever get around to doing?
Oh Jesus, did that show? I don't even know if that show happened. Wow. It was an old.
Yeah. The pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was like an old school TNA show set up for Wrestle. It's basically the same thing that's happening with Japan right now, with New Japan. At I can't think of the name, Wrestle, whatever the hell it is, where they have WrestleCon. Oh. There's like a million wrestling shows, and then New Japan versus Impact is one of the million.
Well, I was looking on the calendar today, quite a bit actually, and tomorrow's Mardi Gras. I don't understand why wrestling doesn't try to delve into that, that kind of big thing that happens in Louisiana. I mean, I know it's a lot of druggies and drunks and people looking to get laid, but no, I think there's an opportunity there. I don't know why they don't do it.
Well, what are we? I mean, no offense to us and wrestling fans, but it's not like we're all, I was going to say bankers, like bankers is some great job. I don't know the word. Hopefully you people know what I mean. Let us get into the show now that actually happened. Because it opened, this is the February 16th. February 16th show. I'm just going to go with that. Chris Bay versus Kushida. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you open a show. This made me so happy. It wasn't the greatest match between the two, but like, you know.
No, but it's definitely hard to open anything after these two these two studs in the ring, you know?
Exactly. And I mean, Bay lost, but he looked really good against Kushida, who's freaking awesome. I haven't seen a ton of this guy still, but the more I see him, I mean, he just seems fantastic and great addition. Hopefully he sticks around.
Honestly, I think Kushida right now is probably my favorite New Japan wrestler going.
Yeah, well, wait till Kenta shows up.
Oh, wow.
Also, to be fair, I don't know. I mean, he was. I'm not sure if he still is. I do love. Yeah, I might agree with you. I guess we'll see. So Kenta is coming soon, and Jesus, Kenta versus Bailey. That should be sick. I got a lot of people talking on Facebook today. I saw which Impact needs, so that was nice. And here's something I hated: Dreamer and Bully sit down with Santino, and the solution is a busted open segment at No Surrender with Dave LaGreca. So then they argued, and then they made a beat the clock challenge for next week. Oh, so okay. See, I missed this. Thank you, 411. Where the winner gets to go first. See, I was thinking, okay, they made the thing, the busted open segment. It's over. Like, we don't have to see them anymore. So
yeah.
But okay, I was wondering why they had matches this week. Okay, so then this week.
I don't know how much at No Surrender this is going to take up. I just don't want to, pace the show and make it like go like really like whether we get quick matches because of it. You know what I mean? Like stuff that kind of I take near and dear to my heart. I don't like it too quick of a match, but
as much as I'm not a huge Giselle fan, I am a huge Diana fan, and I don't think she should ever be on the pre-show. And then they got like this thing that they've been they've been building the Dreamer and Bully thing more than anything for No Surrender. I think that's totally fair to say. Like,
yeah, and then you mentioned that Bailey and Gresham, I think you said open.
Oh God, it's on the pre-show.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's on the pre-show. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be smart. Like, if you want people watching, but
yeah,
maybe not.
Maybe to get them that Impact Plus app, or something on YouTube.
I think that's like too good of a match to put on the pre-show. Like,
I do too. Yeah,
make people pay for that one and put on like just a little bit of a lesser one if you can.
But I mean, this is the same show that we put the Swinger and Barry Horowitz thing. That I just should have started. You know what I mean? I should have like.
That's the thing. It's just random. Like, who is that for? And we'll jump to that now because we'll just skip. Before we get to that, there's a bunch of No Surrender number one contender qualifying matches here. So before that, we're going to jump over to Johnny Swinger versus Barry Horowitz. Now, Johnny Swinger, I think he made a deal with Santino, right, where he has to win every match, I believe.
Yeah, an attempt to hit 50 wins to get.
Okay, yeah. So Zicky found
title shot, I guess it was. Isn't that what it's for?
Yeah. Okay. So Zicky found Barry Horowitz. I guess that's the story. And
he went to find the king of the jobbers, or something.
Yeah, Barry Horowitz. I always remember him for patting himself on the back. It was just like a slick.
Well, I will say on this night, I was very impressed at how good a shape Barry Horowitz was.
It's just such a weird, random thing. Like when he's like, it's all No Surrender number one contender matches. Then you got the Bully thing, and then you got the PCO stuff. Then you got Masha getting pushed. Then you got the main event with Kenny King versus Swan, and Josh is involved. But then you have this, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I always think, like, who is this for exactly? I mean, I thought it was funny, but like, I don't know. Like when people online see Barry Horowitz, like
I totally
watch the show. You know what I mean? Like that's such an LOL thing for people, and I hate that.
I feel like they're trying to play to our age group though, because they say Impact is like the older crowd, and like a lot of us knew Barry Horowitz, and we know Johnny Swinger, and some of us aren't as familiar who Zicky Dice is, but luckily I was able to see him because of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Yeah. Now I'm curious. Is this the end? Because Swinger lost, right? Is this the end of Johnny's?
Barry Horowitz rolls him up for the win.
After getting help from the Kiss Demon.
Yeah, after a bit of the Kiss Army interjection.
I mean, I'm sorry. This match was like, if you look at this card and you see this match just thrown in here, and then the Kiss Demon is in there, like it looks like someone was on drugs, and they were like, "Yo, check this out. I got Johnny Swinger. I'm gonna bring in Barry Horowitz and the Kiss Demon."
Even had Gene Simmons axe guitar around his neck up there on the ramp. It was pretty cool, but I mean, at the same time, if I'm a fan. Say I'm a younger fan, I'm gonna be like, who the, I know who Kiss is, but I mean, what's the
yeah, and I think that's a big problem. Like we'll laugh at it for like 2 minutes, but like I've already seen like a ton of people are just abusing, like, oh, Barry Horowitz on Impact, LOL, Impact again, and I'm like, no,
no knock on comedy, but it's very much in the vein of anything Shark Boy ever did too.
Yeah. I will say this was probably the funniest thing that they've done recently. I mean, it did make me laugh. Horowitz got the win against Swinger. Like, nobody should like he should have beaten anyone, and he couldn't beat freaking Barry Horowitz of all people. So.
And did you catch what they wanted? Santino wanted to do, set him up with another match, and he wanted to have him face Rhino.
Oh wait, no, wait.
I'm going to go out on top.
that was Horowitz, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I think that happened later on. Yeah, that was really funny. Yeah, that's right. He's like, all right, I'll give you Rhino. He's like, nope, I'm out. So that was nice, good stuff. Get in and out. I really like that. Okay, and here's where I got to bash them again a little, because this is again 411's wording. This is the Moose outside with a bat, breaks into a car, I believe, that he thought was Hendry's, but it was Santino. Santino ends up giving Moose Santino ends up giving Moose a digital media title shot in a .combat match. And then the writer here says, this would be the latest, sure, why not, booking around here. And I can't argue.
Yeah, I don't even know what a .com. I mean, I know you use.
I'm guessing it's hardcore for the digital media. Yeah,
you use. I think the I don't know how you want to word it, but the whole reason for this bout is going to be that you can use like anything that's to do with the internet. Like a keyboard, a computer monitor. I mean,
well, just hearing that makes me want them to change that title. Just make it the goddamn hardcore title or something, so we don't have to explain. Like, like that's just weird. Like, you know what I mean? Make it like anything. I don't want to watch people getting hit with. Keyboards and mice.
Yeah, I know. I guess they're trying to be unique, but I don't know.
He's got a modem. Look out! It's much better if somebody has like an axe or something. I mean,
plus it's going to make me feel really bad if I see an HD TV or something going across the.
Yeah.
That hurts me every time. I was like, if they're going to do that, I'll take it.
Yeah, they used to always make me crazy with Vince, like blowing up like sick cars. Like, no. All right, number one contender matches. So, first one was second one. Rhino versus Steve Macklin. Macklin gets the win. Thought it was a little long, a little over 10 minutes. I didn't think Rhino was going to win this, but it was all right. Didn't really hate it or anything.
No, it served its purpose, but like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like the talent in this ring is so, like they're too far apart. Like, it kind of made it a little bit more competitive than probably should be, especially when there's talk of Steve Macklin actually being someone that could possibly dethrone Josh Alexander down the road.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's kind of like some backstage. Nobody wants to make, God forbid, you make why am I blanking on his name? God forbid you make Rhino look bad. You know what I mean? Like, he's been around forever. Like, he's a legend. Like, he can take a loss to, he can get his ass kicked by Macklin, and he'll be fine a week later.
Oh yeah, I mean, and no one, especially this juncture of Rhino's career, no one's expecting, like him being the bearer of the belts, where he goes to all these promotions and starts, winning titles.
Okay, before we forget, and I can actually put a timestamp at around 20 minutes. Let's check in with the mailbag, because it's a pretty good question this week, and a real one, unlike, not going to say sometimes they're fake, but this is from Bill in New Hampshire, who asks, do you guys think there's a chance CM Punk could end up with Impact after he was seen in pictures with Scott and Giselle, among others, at the latest New Japan show in California? Now, I don't know if, Gary, if you've seen this, heard about it. Now, just really quick, PWI added that Lou D'Angeli was also there. Now, just my quick thoughts. I'm guessing it's all for the New Japan relationship, which is becoming stronger, but there was a picture where it was like Punk. It looked like he was talking to Scott or Scott's double, because I don't know. I swear it doesn't look like, it looks like a version of Scott that totally isn't Scott.
Yeah, I totally don't think it was Scott, but I thought it was very like strange at the same time. Like Giselle was sitting right where Punk happened to be, and it was like she. It wasn't like she just, oh, you're here. It was like we're all sitting in the same, location.
Because I also saw a picture that Bailey was like in the back, so she wasn't sitting with Punk, as far as I know. I mean, there might be other pictures out there, but yeah, I mean, it did look like. I mean, it's especially if you would have got like a different angle, like so Giselle is there. I mean, Scott was there. Sorry, Scott was there. PWI added that Lou and Scott were there. So even though there's a person that we're both 99% sure isn't Scott, although they look so much like Scott, isn't actually Scott. But the point is, PWI said Scott was there. So it's Scott, Punk, Lou D'Angeli. I mean, we have the figure, right? Because Giselle was there. Like,
yeah.
Scott's obviously sitting with Giselle. D'Angeli has to be sitting with Scott. And Punk is literally right there with Vampiro on the other side.
But I kind of felt like when I look at that picture, I kind of feel like Punk was a little bit in hiding there. Because he was wearing like a winter, like we call it up here, a winter toque.
I thought the opposite. I mean, even if he was looking like that, even if he was looking like that, I thought it was more like I'm here, I'm still here.
Yeah,
like a reminder to people, like even with the companies.
I just kind of felt like he was trying to maybe hide a little bit in a way, just with wearing that. Because I mean. Usually we see Punk, he's got his hair all slicked back, and like he don't care, he's out there. But
like, I'm guessing it's also like he didn't want to like take away from the show by kind of like standing out more, and getting CM Punk chance. I think it was in California, not positive. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, San Jose.
I mean, I think we both kind of answered there, right? I mean, it was weird, and
yeah, it happened this Saturday night.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if. I mean, where else could Punk go other than, well, I guess he can go anywhere. Back to AEW. I think it would be smart if he went back to AEW and actually use that shit and kind of turned Khan into Vince, but I don't think they'll do that because they suck at stories. I don't know. He could go back to WWE.
Yeah, I see the story where they said Triple H was eyeing a free agent, and they go, and it's not Jay White.
Oh, so. I think they said it was much bigger than Jay White.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, and the problem is, like, even if he does come to Impact, like, how long would it be for? And I hate that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want him to just pop in for a few months and we all get excited, and it's like, oh shit, we got Punk, and it's like, oh, now he's on WrestleMania. Fuck.
But I mean, how big would it be if he were to come back and and he say they put
Scott Steiner. Sorry, no big deal there.
It sounds about like where I live on a given Saturday night.
All right, so back to the qualifiers. Heath Edwards defeated Eddie Edwards, which I hate saying those words, but PCO did a little light or thunder noise to distract Eddie. So
yeah, I kind of liked what they did here, though, because it kind of made it a little darker.
Yeah.
Maybe they're listening to us on this too, Jay. Maybe they should take a lesson 101 from the Horror King here.
Well, I'm not. I mean, would you call these a gimmick match? Is a number one contenders qualifying match a gimmick match, or?
It's kind of like it's a kind of a tweener kind of thing.
Yeah, well, because I mean that was my big thing, complaining about gimmick matches, and we've had a bunch since I've been complaining about them. I got to say,
well, we did a gimmick
this week.
Yeah, this Thursday between Trey Miguel and Crazy Steve, or not Crazy Steve.
Oh, sorry. Then there's two. I was thinking of the bully one, to beat the clock challenge.
Oh yeah, that too.
I think I don't know. I think the fans like stuff like that. Like, even like the qualifying matches, it's like even if you don't know what's going on, you can see like who's going to be the number one contender. Although I don't like the fact that they need to do these things. Like I feel like they used to have like a number one contender in each division. You know what I mean? Just based on their really good booking. And right now they kind of don't, so they need to do these things.
I did kind of like coming out of this. I kind of like the decision with going with Heath only because like 9 times out of 10 you're going to go the other way. And in this, it was smart booking to have PCO intervene enough so Heath could pick up a win and a little bit of a momentum to kind of keep you guessing what's going to go on with this beat the clock kind of thing, you know.
So have they yet to announce PCO Eddie?
I believe they do have a match upcoming at that.
At No Surrender? Yeah, I hope so.
I believe so. I think it's supposed to be their final.
Better be some kind of murder match.
It'd be interesting to see what goes on this Thursday between the two. I'm sure Eddie will probably get some kind of revenge factor, maybe like put him through a table or something. I
was going to say Monsters Ball, but later on in the show, Crazy Steve challenges Trey for an X Division title match at the Monsters Ball. So, is that going to happen in No Surrender? I'm not sure.
Oh, with Trey and
Steve
are this Thursday.
That's the Monsters Ball? Okay.
Yeah, it even says what I'm looking at right here is set for next week, which would be this.
Damn, X Division Monsters Ball match on an Impact. Like I've been saying, man, that's one of my biggest bitches was gimmicks. I didn't think people liked them. Like,
well, then an easy thing. It's about Yuya too. They're teaming them up with Kazarian. So
that's nice. Well, better than I just like the kind of Team Impact. Yeah, even though Yuya's not really, but he's a good enough wrestler, and having been tag matches is nice to see. Masha destroyed Alicia, which again we mentioned a few times. My boy Robles happens to love Alicia, and we don't think she's used enough. And I think even in squashes, like what the hell? She's on the roster. Why not use her? And she got choked. Would she get choked out?
Yeah. And then Mickey came in.
Sorry, yeah, Mickey.
Broke it up.
Sorry, Mickey popped in, and then Mickey got choked out by Masha. Masha. Damn it, I didn't even mean to do that on purpose, but I did. I don't know, man. I love Masha, but is she going to win this week? And if she doesn't, then what? She's going to be 0 for 3 in title matches? Like,
she's going to lose even further momentum if they don't, start booking her, to come out on top. Because, she's going to look like that monster, that monster knockout that doesn't ever, the big win.
Can't get the job done. Hate to say it, but similar to one of my old favorites.
Talks the talk, but doesn't walk the walk, if you will.
Similar to one of my old favorites, Rosemary, who is still a one-time world champion, and that was GFW, and I don't even know if that counts.
I don't believe it does. I think it's a totally different title, because I think Jeff Jarrett's going to for that stuff with him.
Yeah, I give Jarrett a lot of crap, but my God, he's the only person to have given her a world championship. Just look at that look. God, it makes me so angry. Whatever. Main event, Kenny King, Rich Swann. Now, goddamn, this is another one. I think we've both been saying, how much we love Kenny King, how great he's been since he comes back. He looks energized, kind of like a different version of himself.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do believe for me, this was the best match of the night. I don't know how you feel about it.
I thought the opener and this were pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, that was solid, too. I don't know. I just like some of the stuff that Swan was pulling off. It kind of made him look like he, maybe reached into that bag and maybe he's going to be on a momentum enough to make it believable at No Surrender against Josh.
Yeah, well, I was going to say this about the Heath. Do you think Heath has any chance in the world of winning?
No.
That's what I mean. And I feel the same about Swan.
Yeah. Swan's a little, quite a bit better than Heath, though.
Yeah. And I've been watching a lot of wrestling this week for some reason. I don't know why. I watched the Elimination Chamber, which was surprisingly good. Got to tell you, they got some good women over there, especially NXT. They're just freaking stacked with, ridiculous amount of women that are, under 25. It's kind of insane and scary, but...
We had mentioned something about possibly doing a second show. I would be game to doing an NXT, if I were to get the time. So, might be we can talk about off
Well
camera?
then we would have. Yeah, we could talk about that. You can leave a comment if you'd like to hear us discuss anything else. But then we would have to change the name, and God, that's a whole 30 seconds of things. And well, we'll see what happens. So Swan beats King. He gets a nice win, but it really has nothing to do with Josh. So after the match, King's beaten on Swan. Josh runs in for the save. Not a huge fan of this because, I mean, I know you're the good guy, but why are you saving the guy who you're going to wrestle soon? But I guess that's how good he is. So Josh ends up getting hit by the chair by mistake, like we mentioned earlier, and I guess that's where
Oh,
now
I thought
now they
Swan,
hate each other.
well, I thought Swan super kick went to super kick King, and he moved and then he hit.
Okay, you could.
Gosh.
Well then, Hall is a goddamn liar at 411 because he says he got hit by a chair.
No, he. What happened was King was beating Swan down, and then Josh ran into the ring with a chair, and I guess the chair
That's right.
got dropped.
Okay, that's right. I got you. Okay.
I just thought of the. It just felt like to me it was kind of like they were kind of nodding to the Young Bucks here a little bit. Like you don't really know if Swan really might be turning heel, or if Josh is looking for an excuse to turn heel here.
Yeah, we were talking before the show, and like I don't know what the hell they can do with Swan to make me care. Like even if he turns heel,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
he just
I just think it would be interesting to have a cocky Swan.
yeah, like I don't know. I feel like they need like a wrestler rehab kind of thing, or maybe they can do it like a kayfabe style, where like a guy like Swan just like steps in and he's like, "Yeah, listen, man, things ain't working," Like
Unless they're planning on making Kenny King team up with Swan in the future, for all we know.
no, that'd be a badass tag team. I like Kenny by himself, but I don't know. They got to get rid of that goddamn middle title, or Kenny can go for the X Division title, I guess. I just don't like the digital media title, especially the fact that it leads to matches that include digital media things, which it's just so weird and random. So
Honestly, I liked it. It's
a,
simple. I like the TV title.
like it might as well be a baseball title where they can use baseball bats and balls. Like the fact that it's digital media, like it has nothing to do with anything. Like the matches aren't on digital media.
I can't.
This match is on. This match is gonna be This match is gonna be on pay-per-view, right?
Yeah. Well, I came up with. I know. I'm trying to toot my own horn here, but I came up with a name for a title. I thought it would be a pretty good idea, and like they could, it would kind of plug Impact Plus. I thought maybe think about doing an Impact Plus title.
Oh yeah, well that would be too smart and obvious, I guess.
Just because you're trying to get people to buy that app, and
yeah, well, I don't even know if they are. Maybe they're working on a new app with New Japan or something. Who the hell knows? Because you're right. I don't think they push that app enough. And sometimes I think like they don't care. And
well, I did notice they put a graphic on the screen, so I don't know. Maybe they're listening to us. There was a Impact Plus graphic, Ultimate Insiders, and then Fight. So
they've been doing a lot of little things. I don't know. I don't want to say better or they're stealing or using some ideas we're throwing out there, but other than Tommy Dreamer and Bully, I mean, things are going really well. I mean, like I would have been cool. Totally. Like I said last week, like I'm cool with the Horowitz stuff as long as, like, I'm sorry, I'm cool. I'm still cool with the Horowitz stuff, but like it would work so much better if there was no Bully or Dreamer or even like Mike Jackson on the shows. Because like then it would just be like a random appearance of like old people, like, oh shit, remember those guys? Instead of like, oh yeah, remember Bully was on 5 minutes ago and Tommy Dreamer, and now it's these guys. Like, what am I watching? Is this ECW?
Well, my thing is, I think what the problem is we're kind of used to having a much bolstered roster. Like, we're used to basically the Panda Energy money we were getting accompanied whatever Viacom was giving us back in the Spike days. And now we're kind of like running out. There's talent out there, but a lot of the talent that's out there is really not TV ready.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of Japan talent, it seems like, coming in soon, so that will be very helpful. And shit, this is going to be a short one, I think, because other than some Ant-Man bashing, unless I'm missing anything here,
I do have a little bit of something.
Sure.
Just because it's a short night. Said on Twitter Sports, Impact was had over 3,500 tweets this week, which is a very good sign. and it's probably why maybe we had, we did so well with the ratings. And I got some birthday wishes to Gail Kim. She turns 46 today. Your girl Maria Kanellis, she turns 41 on the 25th, and Father James Mitchell turns 58 on the 26th.
Happy birthday to all of you. And okay, so I'm just going to spend a minute or two here bashing Ant-Man, which I saw this week. And if you don't want to hear spoilers, then get out of here now, and we'll catch you next week. I don't think Gary saw this. We talked earlier how he kind of is a what the hell's the word? Casual, I guess.
Yeah, I don't.
And I'm more of a psycho MCU nerd, comic book freak. So I love, like I said earlier, man, I would love Downey. I loved everything they were doing up until up until the last phase, where it was kind of a setup for this phase. And this was supposed to be the opening that was really huge. And we find out about Kang the Conqueror, and spoiler, he ends up dying at the end. He gets eaten by ants or something. He gets killed by giant ants, and it's just ridiculous. And then they had MODOK, who is this character that's I don't know if you've ever heard of MODOK, Gary.
No, but
he's such a hard character to film. I mean, I'll show you a picture after, you'll just die laughing. It was, oh man, you ever see the TV show The Strain? Corey Stoll.
No.
He was in. You know who Corey Stoll is?
No.
You ever see this TV show The Strain?
Oh, I've seen it. Okay, I have seen.
He was the doctor.
Okay.
Kind of boring. Nothing special about him, and probably the worst.
Was he the? He was he was
the lead, the doctor with the kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do know him. I didn't know that was a
great show, by the way. Everybody should check that out. The Strain, really, really good show. Scary. I don't know, whatever else. But yeah, so Corey Stoll ends up being this MODOK, and it's just some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life. The entire movie, and I never say this about movies, I don't notice shit like this, but it looked like they were all standing in front of a screen, the entire movie. And it was just such a weird thing. And then they got the villain who was supposed to be the next Thanos, and then he dies at the end. And okay, well, there's a million other versions of him, but it's not as scary when you're building up you had Thanos, who they built up to I think it was 8 years behind the scenes, and we never saw him for real until he showed up on Endgame and just fucked shit up like a psycho. And it was actually scary, seeing the guy. It was he was probably the best villain ever, and now they kind of already shit the bed with Kang, and I'm just mad. I'm mad. I used to be so excited about the MCU, and now it's whatever.
Well, I kind of feel with Marvel, it's characters like Ant-Man would be better to be seen and not heard, in the sense that I don't feel there's a lot of substance to that character, really.
No, not really.
Kind of turn him into
that's why his first. You'd probably really like his first two movies because they were just they're basically straight up comedies.
Yeah, they're tongue in cheek.
That's what Ant-Man should have been, And,
they're kind of like the DC version of Shazam.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, Shazam. Yeah, it's actually a really good one. And speaking of DC, just for a weird one, I don't know if you caught this today, Gary, but the Joker Part 2 with Lady Gaga is playing the thing, and supposedly it's based on Liza Minnelli plays.
Oh man,
now, I gotta mention, my mother is a huge Liza Minnelli fan.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything about Liza Minnelli other than my mother is in love with her, so I don't know. I feel that's such a weird mix.
I don't know a lot about her, but I do. I know of her, and I know decent enough about her, but. That's kind of, I'm sure for your mom, that's probably going to be a hard pill to swallow because, they couldn't ask for two different women.
Well, I'm going to try and get my mother to watch it now based on that, but it might be a great thing for women, maybe. I don't know. Older women, oh my God, she's dead.
It's just really sad, though, because, the Joker, I know some people didn't really love it, but it pretty much everybody loved it. And
I thought it was pretty sick, yeah.
Yeah, and you follow it up with that. You're just
I cannot. Once I heard they were doing a musical, I laughed. I'm no. Like I was waiting for something to be like, no, they're really doing this. But I mean, I don't know. Like Lady Gaga's sick. I mean, just going by like voices and stuff. Like I can't imagine like she would sign on for something, and like she doesn't really fail at things. So I
No,
don't
well,
know. I think they could pull it off somehow, but I
I don't know
can't
if you're
imagine how.
I don't know if you're familiar with American Horror Story, but she
Oh
was
yeah, great.
to that.
Oh yeah, great. Love it. Well, I love a few of the seasons.
But she was in that. So I mean, I think if the task at hand, she's going to deliver, fine performance. But I mean, is it a little out there? You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, totally.
you dropped the ball with the Joker.
Oh yeah, totally. To me,
Momentum.
I feel like it could be the great or like the worst thing ever. There's no there's no middle ground for like a musical with the Joker. Like, especially following up a movie that wasn't a musical. Like it's a very odd thing. I don't know.
I think what Jay is trying to say with Marvel and Impact,
We want an Impact musical.
we, we want it to be fresh and exciting again.
Yeah.
Reason
Exactly.
for that talent from abroad to cross the line.
I think what I'm trying to say is I want Robert Downey Jr. on Impact and more musicals. I mean, check out Joe Hendry's numbers. He seems to be doing really well with the singing. People love singing. Check out your TV Guide on any night of the week. Guess what? There's a singing show on. I don't watch them, but I just know there is.
Well, they could try to incorporate it into like TikTok more often too. Because that's really popular.
Yeah.
It's a younger fan base.
Yeah, a lot they can do, and a lot we can do, and I guess we'll see what happens. Because we should stop rambling about movies and just get the hell out of here.
Just make sure everybody, tries to, get around to TV or wherever you watch your Impact Wrestling, and try to, pitch in and, give Impact the money they need to keep going.
Yeah, support Impact, basically, is what Gary is saying. At least until you can support us with T-shirts or some shit. We'll see what happens with that, and we'll catch you next time. Have a good one, everyone.
Catch you next week.